And now, in this week's show, we explore all of the big announcements from Adepticon for Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, and beyond. A new edition is coming. Don't worry, though, it's not all Warhammer. We also dive into a relic of an Indie of the Week and check out possibly the best Vikings ever made on Kickstarter. It's a big claim, we know. Don't forget to comment on YouTube to be in with the chance of winning that Age of Sigmar Dawnbringers bundle. But without further ado, your weekend starts here. All right, folks, and welcome to the Weekender. I am joined this week by Lloyd. Hello.
What's up, peeps?
All that street slang, doing well. I'm joined by Justin.
Hola.
Hola, okay. Yeah, near enough
Me
to
gusta.
And I am also joined by John as well, hiding in the little cave.
It's my safe space.
Yes, indeed. Surrounded by all of your painting. Exactly, pretty much. Yeah. We have a pretty jam-packed show for us to dive into here. Lots and lots of stuff has come out of Adepticon, not just from Games Workshop, but from other companies as well. We will dive into that when we get into the news section. But before we start that, we have a little bit of an update. So this week we have launched the Spring Clean Hobby Challenge for this year. Back
again.
Yeah. Put in like that faded trumpet sound here, John, as the editor. No? Okay. Right, so this is your chance to dig out those old, worn out, forgotten, possibly badly painted projects and dive in once again and turn them into something brand spanking new. If you have stuff that has been languishing from the 80s or the 90s, or maybe even just last year, could even potentially be a spring clean project that you started last year and never finished because life.
So it's a re-sprinkling challenge.
Yeah, you could respring it, I guess. Yeah. You can dive into this and start painting up awesome miniatures, armies, dioramas, whatever you want to do. As long as you give things a new lease on life, you can take part in this project. Well, in this project system, and sort of dive into the Spring Clean Hobby Challenge.
So we have a post up on the website. I just flashed it a minute ago. I'll flash it again, peeps.
Yeah.
Ooh, saucy.
So this has all the details on how to get involved.
All the details. I'll give you a quick swish and then we'll go through them.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we got prizes.
We do, yeah. So there's lots of prizes for this year. We have our standard 10 vouchers that we're going to be giving away. These this time come from support via Whaling Games. There are 5 £75 winner vouchers and 5 £25 runner-up vouchers, thanks to them. And then on top of that, an additional sort of bonus goodie bag. We also have a grand prize that will go to one of those winners, which is the War Paints Fanatic Mega Paint Set, which has been supported by the folks at Army Painter. So if you want to get your hands on that, you better get working on things.
So let me get this straight. Some lucky sod's going to win a £75 voucher and a paint set.
Yes, exactly. Ooh. So the thing that you buy from Wayland, you can then paint with the paints that you get from Army Painter.
So hang on, your reward for doing work is more work.
Yes, exactly. That's how things work in the wargaming hobby.
That's what a hobby is, Justin. Exactly. Welcome to it.
It is an army is never finished. A collection is never full. So yes, there's loads of really nice prizes for this year. How do you win those? Well, you take part over in the project system. You build a project. If
you come to our website and you hit the projects, well, hey, we'll just show you now literally how to do it. A project comes up, and then look at this button here. See this button here saying add a new project or add a project. Obviously, you need to make an account first for free. Yes, and you click the add the project button. And obviously, going to ask me to log in.
Yeah, and if you're watching on the YouTubes, this does not exist there. Come across the on tabletop.com.
Exactly.
I shall log in.
But yes, once you've logged in and you've made yourself a project, there'll be a whole bunch of different drop-down menus and things that you can dive into as well to get involved in there. There is a particular tag for this year. You will see a Spring Clean Hobby Challenge tag from sort of years past You have to make sure to pick the 2024 one, because that's how Jerry finds your projects, private or not.
Yes, be wary that you don't get lost in the ether.
Exactly, yes. And that's how you'll get picked at the end of this when we finish in the summer. So yes,
look at this. Cool. So whatever you're doing, you can pick like something. Army build.
You can, yeah. So as I said, you could do it based on just miniature painting. You could do it on terrain crafting, whatever you wanted to do.
Mass stuff.
Well, here's one for you.
This doesn't say Rome. To be honest,
no, it doesn't say Rome, and I got to pick a related game, related company.
Yes.
That'll do.
And then we held hands. Interesting game.
Here we go. This is the bit. See this bit here? Related contest.
Yeah.
And so then you scroll down.
Hobby Challenge 2024. Just pick that. That's the one you need for this particular year, and that will mean that when we come around to picking at the end of spring, you'll be able to dive in and get your prizes potentially if you do.
Let begin.
Yes. So yes, there are a couple of different categories as part of the Spring Clean Hobby Challenge. What we do when it comes to picking winners is we take a note of the votes that have gone into each of these different categories, and then part of our own personal views on projects will help us decide on the different winners. We have a prize and a runner-up, obviously, for each of these. So there's best skill. So this is the most skilled work, be it in painting or overall finish. We have best tutorial, and this is the person who has shown us in detail great steps from start to finish. You don't actually have had to have finished the project potentially, but as long as you've had a really cool sort of tutorial and you've built up a really nice selection of painting guides and things like that, or build guides perhaps for terrain, that would be a great way to get yourself entered into that particular category. We also have best idea. This is perfect for those people who have grand ideas and then never actually really get around to doing anything and then set themselves up for next year to do Spring Clean 2025. So yes, this is where you come up with interesting.
Hey, that's my category right
exactly.
there.
This is the Lloyd category. We should probably just call it that. Maybe have Lloyd on the artwork or something. I don't know. But this one is for those people who want to do really nice planning and stuff like that. And then you dive in and you can potentially win there. We also have, and this is a sort of broader category, but this is best junior member. So this is for someone under the age of 16 who will also win themselves a prize. Also be a runner-up for that as well. So if you have any sort of mini folk coming around,
Otter pups.
Otter pups, exactly.
If you have any children, set them to work to try and win you vouchers. Yes, exactly. Is what you're basically saying.
No, come on. Surely the youngling gets their own bit of it. Yeah. They get the prize. Don't be mean.
No, treat them like dwarf miners. So spelt differently, but still miners and get them to work. Oh, there is a particular thing you need to do, though. If you're going to go into the junior category, you need to put in junior member in the title of your project so as we can find it easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we'll be able to find you. That'll be great. And yes, finally, we have a breath of fresh air. This was the category that Warren entered into the Hobby Challenge last year. And this is to encourage you to finish off your projects, obviously, and then take them out into the wide world where no wargamer has ever been before. Set them up in different places and take photos of them.
I'm not going to enter this category because I would just obliterate everybody.
Oh yeah, no, you're Baleriacs.
I just need to find somewhere to go and then take miniatures with me.
Yeah. See, I'm really surprised people haven't tried to get their miniatures into places that they're kind of sort of not meant to be.
I did. I took my Baleriacs into Games Workshop.
Did yeah, very true. Yeah.
I was thinking less Games Workshop, more Buckingham Palace.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe you'll find Kate. There we go. But we've seen people take really fantastic pictures in all sorts of different places. We've had the witches from Discworld at castles. We've had Balearics in all sorts of strange places and everything in between as well. There's even been Space Marines in the wood and all sorts of stuff, which is very, very cool to see. But it's just a nice opportunity to go outside and maybe take in a bit of fresh air and sort of step away from the painting table for a little bit, which is always nice. We have plans, I think, amongst us for some cool projects that we're going to be diving into over the next little while. We won't spoil them here, but we will be talking about them in future shows and stuff like that. But
we won't spoil them here. I thought we were going to tease. Well,
I mean, mine needs more DACA.
Okay, there you go. So that's a good tease. Mine's Dwarven. Who would have thought it?
Oh, I need at
least...
That
could be anything, Ben. That's oof.
I need at least 2 more Balerics.
Okay. Well, okay then.
Because you always need a couple of Balerics more.
That's true.
Get up to 3. You'll get a crusade.
Exactly. But yeah, so we'll be talking about that in the coming weeks and months as we go through the challenge. As I said, it runs all the way up into sort of like the tail end of June. So you've got all of springtime to be working on your models and bring them to life. But the quicker you get in there, start building projects, the more time you'll have to start working through things. Change your mind, start an entirely new project, all sorts of different things like that.
And don't be greedy. Share it around on social media.
Exactly, yes.
We got a hashtag, and then we've got hashtag OTT Spring Clean 24 because we're all professional.
Yeah, and don't forget to actually jump into those projects. And if you see one you like, give it the skill, the
Smash.
like, the tutorials, smash
That's
the
the most
buttons.
important thing.
Yeah.
Encourage other people to dive in and start doing hobby alongside you. It's always nice to see.
If there's one you like, help them along, give them a chance at winning.
Yes.
That's it. And if you're wondering, no, we haven't forgotten about Dungeonalia. The results will be coming probably next week.
They're working on even shorter lists.
They were supposed to come this week, but then we had some terrible illnesses dragged on people.
Jerry has the lurgy.
Yeah.
Jerry can't talk. Can you imagine a Jerry that can't actually talk?
It's a terrifying world we live in.
It's just not a Jerry.
True.
It's a Jerry-shaped object. It's counterfeit, maybe.
Well, in honor of Jerry, I mean he's not dead, but in honor of Jerry,
no, it's not that terrible.
Maybe we should dive into
he just can't talk.
His favorite part of the week, and that is the indie of the week. Ooh. And this one I picked specifically for John, effectively.
I wonder why.
Maybe it's because you will never financially recover from this.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the fact that TTCombat, who we know they'd done this, they'd bought the Relics range from Wargaming, which was a fantastic game that we dove deep into back in the day. We had loads of videos and we did loads of stuff with the designers and everything like that. But the game kind of vanished off the map, unfortunately, and the miniatures sort of vanished into the ether, as it were. But now the entire Relics range, well, most of it is available as part of the TTCombat web store right now. So yes, these are now available for you to buy. John has bought, I think, all of them.
all of the Britannian, yeah.
All of the Britannans. Yeah.
I mean, when we looked at this morning, John went, "Is that one I?" Nope, that's not happening.
But yes, so all of the Britannans and all of the Orknar are now available for you to dive into and pick up. So this gives you the two, I guess you'd say, core factions, I think, for Relics that sort of came out when the game initially launched. You've got loads of awesome bits and pieces in there. The kind of overall vibe for the game was always meant to be like stitchpunk, which I thought was a cool way of approaching things.
Mm-hmm.
I love me some stitchpunk.
Yeah, and you can
it's
see
a bit like that movie 9.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes.
It is a bit.
Yeah.
It was one of the bits of the background I loved of this was just there was a mage that screwed up, and then the entire kingdom got turned into puppets.
Yeah, and all of the classic miniatures have returned. Everything that you would have seen previously that was available.
Whoa!
In metal.
Look at the rock boobies on that.
Exactly.
The Orknar I always find really, really creepy.
Yeah.
And I would much rather play Britannian, but John bought them first.
The Orknar are trying to save their forgotten empire. Don't diss them. Yeah. So but yeah, so all of the miniatures that were available previously in metal are now back in resin. And actually, John, you've managed to get your hands on quite a few of these. I think.
I have currently bought one of everything that TTCombat released for the Britannian. So in some cases, because I went and found my original Wargaming medals, I have 2 of certain units now, which is handy.
Yeah.
The resins are exactly the same mold as the medals.
Right. Okay.
So with that comes the same flaws that the old medals had as well. Like they haven't revamped anything. So heads with the little peg into the slot are kind of still a little bit fidgety here and there, if anyone's familiar with them before. But the quality's fine. The resin's nice and flexible. It's nice and resilient. The only thing I stumbled across was some of the models have the tab for the slot base and some of them don't.
Oh, okay.
I just decided not to worry about the slot at all because I didn't want to cut into the slot base. So all of them are glued with their tiny little peg feet onto the base, which is definitely not going to cause me problems further down the line.
Those are points of contact asking for trouble. But
yeah,
there's a reason some gamers lose their hair.
Yeah,
there is indeed.
But if you don't want to be like John, there's an easier way, and you don't have to buy everything because they have starter sets.
Well, and they did have starter.
Oh, they did have starter sets.
Yeah.
They don't have starter sets.
No, so currently the event,
Ah.
the set that's available at the moment is just the Britannans and the Orknar. But the images that I've shared with you here, Lloyd, are stuff for us to look at based on what has already existed. So for those people who are interested,
you can get this. Is that what you're saying?
So you can get all of those miniatures. You just can't necessarily get them as part of the starter set.
Oh.
But this gives you an idea of the initial 4 factions, I think it were, that came out for the game. So you had the Britannans and the Orknar, you had the Nuem and the Vatir as well. So you had that really nice mix between that kind of, as we said, sort of like stitchpunky, steampunky vibe, and then the slightly more fey and sort of fantastical side of things as well. I was, when the initial range came out, I was very much a Britannan person. I was like, they are definitely the ones for me. But there were some stuff that I've put some images into this as well, Lloyd, of the Ridens that came out. And these are very kind of labyrinth style characters that you would see in a lot of those sort of like Jim Henson style movies and things, which that was really, really nice. And hopefully, fingers crossed, they're going to be coming back as well. They
I want these versus the stitchy punky dudes really does it for me.
That was my plan. That once the Riden came out, I was just going to buy all of it as well and just have those 2 armies to have.
I always thought the Nuem were kind of funky. BDSM dwarves,
like weird,
not for you, Ben.
Crazy folk. I have
these. Where are these dudes?
Yeah, they're like weird, crazy. As you say, dwarves. Yeah, not necessarily for me. I don't think. I think they're a bit off the wall.
Pain is good dwarves.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll stick with them. But yes, my hope is that eventually, over the course of the next couple of months, year or so, we'll see the rest of this range start to develop and be brought back to the tabletop. There was another. I don't know whether or not they ever actually released them, but there was also the Chthonian or the Chthonians that were announced, which is sort of like a weird Lovecraftian side of thing. I know they were. Can't remember if they went to Kickstarter and then never got released or something.
Yeah, I don't think they ever came out, because I know the Riden was the last faction to fully release.
That seems.
Why did they go with the Orknar? I never associated the Orknar as like really one of like the coolest, most unique looking faction in it.
I would say it's probably because they're so different from the Britannans, because you've got
also
the stitchy punky puppets and then you've got the big monstrous Orknar on the other side.
Also, both of these factions, I would say, probably were the most fleshed out.
Yeah,
so they had the biggest range of stuff to offer to customers.
Yep. Yes.
Just the Britannian range is superb.
It really is.
I love the heavy dragoons. I only have 4 of them. I want more.
They've got wheels.
Yeah.
And peg legs.
Yeah. I see. My favorite is still the little hunting pack with the stitchpunk puppies.
Oh yes, they are very cool.
Is that still here? Where's that?
Yeah, you had it open a little earlier.
Where?
It's just on the right.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Yes, little tiny like stitchpunk bulldog.
Victor doesn't do it justice, because you get friggin' 8 dogs.
You
with
get
that
8
guy.
dogs in the set. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
a lot more than I was expecting.
Yeah. And that's that's an event miniature that they've put out recently, because Adepticon's on at the moment as well.
So is this a new one?
It's a new event miniature. Yeah.
So they're sculpting as well.
Doing fun stuff. John has already bought this.
Yeah, this is TTCombat's first in-house sculpt for relics, which is a good sign of things to come.
It's tied in well.
Yeah, really his face is a little froggy.
I'd have probably put a stitch on his mouth. Oh, he has a couple of stitches here. I'd probably put another stitch here, because I'm not. I wouldn't be painting bloody stitch patterns, so I need stitches.
We'll have to get a look when John gets his copy in.
Yep. Yeah, we seen it while we were going over the running order this morning, and I immediately bought it because I hadn't seen it pop up.
And remind me, are these metals or resins?
Resin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any of those joints that were an issue beforehand, the resin's probably a little easier to work with to actually make them fit.
Little
just a
little bit.
Just a thread better.
I think currently, and in my head, it kind of makes sense that TTCombat are trying to use up the existing molds, or if they've made new molds, they're not really like they haven't changed them in any way. So like there's still flaws, but I mean it doesn't matter, because the resin they're using is a good material, so they're easy to sand back and clean. So
coolness.
I am opening some downloads here as well.
Yeah. So it should also be noted that, as well as the miniatures for the Britannans and the Orknar, all of the rules that have ever effectively existed for the game are available to download for free from TTCombat. So
For free.
free a handbag. So yes, if you're someone who played back in first edition or you wanted to dive into second edition and all sorts of different things, all of the rules are there. So whichever version of the game you preferred, you can dive in and play that. You've also got all the information you need for building your particular warbands based on the different collections. So if you do have some of the stuff for the New M or the Vatir, for example, and you want to start playing with them, that stuff does exist out there, which I think is quite nice. I remember the game being quite fun, actually. A nice little sort of skirmish style game. I've not delved too much into the rules as they stand, but I think from what TTCombat have said, yes, well, there was a lot of content as I was going back through our site about the game.
Well, I mean, it's all still there if people want to go have a little gander at what we thought at the time.
I'll put the game hub down below in the link so you can go and check it out.
Which means you've got videos to help you get into this too.
Yeah. There's chats with the designers and all sorts of different things. Lots of news that we did as well.
But I wonder how many people have just went diving into their attic now. I must find them.
But they must be up there somewhere for somebody. Yeah, very true.
Anyone in the community have any Redend they don't want?
Oh yes,
let me know.
Send them
the TTCombat pickup. What was the other thing that? The Room Raiders, did they pick that up as well?
Home Raiders is coming back later this year.
Is that a TTCombat thing?
Well, it was.
Yeah, I think it is. It was David Asbury, though.
Yeah, but somebody bought it.
But they bought it. So TTCombat do have Home Raiders, and they will be bringing it back because they showed off a couple of fun new miniatures for that. So
because it had a sort of similar-ish sort of vibe. Some of it, just the little troll guys that they have. In that,
yes, I know what you mean. Yeah,
if you were looking for something else to slot in, you could like proxy those in as well.
The weird one for that though was the Egyptian penguins.
Yeah, that ruined the game.
They'll be back.
I think they should kill them off. Lickety split. Get rid of the bloody penguins.
Right.
Listening to you Kickstarter people ruin that game. Never listen to the people. Never listen to the mob.
Shot fired.
The mob knows nothing.
Well, when the survey comes out about that, we'll know which one is Lloyd's.
That's it. So. No penguins. Penguins should either be in the North Pole or in chocolate bars. That's about it.
Scrawled in big red spiky lettering. Not sure what that lettering's made from.
But yeah,
anyway.
If you are someone who's interested in Relics and you want to dive back into the game, 2 of the factions are fully available for you to dive into alongside all of the rules. And as we saw, there's a whole bunch of additional stuff hopefully coming down the pipeline for that as well. As I said, all the rules are available to download for free. But I believe that TTCombat are also working on doing their own bits and pieces in the future as well. So if you're somebody who wants to dive into that, make sure to go and check it out.
Also, as a customer of Relics and TTCombat now, I'm going to say if a new faction comes out and you put in an order, do expect a little bit of a delay because when the Votann released, I ordered all of it and it took a good couple of weeks before the major part of my order was sent out. And I did email them. I was like, look, I know you're busy. And they're like, yeah, the spike in interest really caught us off guard. And I was like, that's understandable. Don't worry about it.
We have produced enough for X number of customers. What happened was we got X number of customers.
Mm-hmm.
See?
There you go. There you can see some of the old miniatures and stuff that were previewed and all sorts of things back in the day.
Look at the exclusive, the chicken. The night on the chicken.
Yes, the Ridden Riders, the Duke.
Are they coming back?
I hope
they're
so.
coming back.
Yeah.
If they have the molds, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure they bought it all hook, line, and sinker, really, because I know for the longest time. Oh my god.
This
Maverick Mike's not back yet.
Where? Who's Maverick Mike?
This guy in the middle.
Dead middle.
Oh, he's not back. No.
Oh,
this
faction though.
Find the old images and things. But there we go. But yes,
these have to come. Look, this has to be reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's /game/relic nights over on the website.
There'll be a link down below, so you can go and check that out. There we go. Cool. But yes, I think we're done with our Indie of the week. Make sure to go and check it out. Make John happy because the more people buy, the more factions they'll make. Probably.
Or John gets.
We will be back very, very soon.
And if there's any sort of note system when you're placing your order, tell them to get rid of the penguins in that other game.
There we go. They're going to get a flurry of weird messages now. But
why are people hating on our penguins? What did they do?
Because Rim Raiders was amazing when it looked like little shelf creatures, and then they had magical, weird Egyptian penguins.
They're going to be so confused. I'm going to have to answer to them at Salute because of you, Lloyd.
No, you're not. Nobody needs to answer for penguins. They need to answer for the penguins.
Right. While we let Lloyd rant
on the buy as well. Like, since I'm not going to Salute TTCombat, if you're watching this, just give Justin stuff for me.
Don't give him no bloody penguins, though. No penguins. If I see penguins come into the studio, I'm binning them. Just don't bother.
Right.
Sorry, give them to me. I'll post them to Lloyd.
Tabletop gaming news coming in a second. Goodbye.
Coming to you from the center of Northwestern Europe. Covering board games, war games, card games, and all that you love. It's the news.
And we're back to dive into the news. It is Adepticon week, which means a lot of stuff has been announced. Because of
First up, penguins.
No more penguins. And they live at the South Pole, not the North Pole. North Pole is polar bears, South Pole is penguins. Let's get that out of the way. Right. Anyway, I've been thinking about that the entire break. Right. So diving into the Games Workshop news. I hope that's right now. Anyway, Games Workshop news. We're diving into some stuff for Warhammer the Old World straight away. And it involves my favorite of the fantasy races, the Dwarves.
Why don't they call this Warhammer the Old Miniatures World?
They should do, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
But yes, the Dwarven Mountain Holds are going to be gracing tabletops after the coming of the Orcs and Goblins, which is the next faction to arrive. Leading the way, we have a new plastic set that is going to be coming out featuring 2 miniatures. Technically, I suppose even more than that if you count the shield bearers. So this is the new Dwarven Lord on the back of his shield, as you can see there, moving away from the 4 that it had previously to 3 now. Got a fantastic look to it. Love all the details on this one. I think the sort of guards that he's got beside him as well look really, really cool. It's almost a shame that the actual Dwarven warriors are still the really old sculpts, but we'll come to that later. This set allows you to make 2 different versions of the Dwarven Lord. You get 2 miniatures effectively. So you can either have the Lord on the back with the shield, or you can have a Lord on foot as well. And you can choose between great weapon and hand weapon and shield, depending on your wants and the way that you want to build your weapons and stuff, and which units they're potentially going to be leading on the tabletop as well. In addition to that, that's plastic, by the way. Looks freaking
What
cool.
is this? Or are these
Dwarven
all
Lord,
these?
that's a plastic set. Those 2 are plastic. This next one, so the Dwarven Thane, with the handgun, as you can see there, is one of the Forge World resin releases. Hello is
At least it's not Philcast.
Yeah, that's true. At least that has gone. But yes, this guy's puffing away on his pipe and could be a good option for you to throw in amongst your Thunderers and your Quarrelers on the tabletop, taking up a little bit more of a back seat position to sort of watch the battle from afar. There's no reason why you couldn't use him as a Lord as well, of course. And then the other Forge World resin miniature that was announced is a younger, I mean, still not necessarily young, but a younger Ungrim Iron Fist. So for fans of the Dwarves in Warhammer Fantasy Battles, you'll know Ungrim Iron Fist as the Slayer King of the Dwarven Mountains. He is going to be back with this new miniature, as you can see here, with some very, very classic sort of armor and weapons that you'll know from the original miniature there. So that'll be a nice little touch to sort of looking back into the past at that lovely miniature you have in your collection, possibly somewhere in a box. I definitely have it, although mine is missing one of his, I think it's missing like a particular accessory on the one side either way. But yeah. In addition to those new plastic and Forge World resin miniatures, there's also going to be a whole host of returning metals and plastic miniatures as well. In terms of the returning metal stuff, I wanted to particularly focus on these because all of the classic Slayers look to be coming back, including the Doom Seekers with their axes on the end of their chain, which I think is freaking awesome, alongside things like the Slayer Command and all that kind of stuff as well.
Do you think they painted these up again, or someone just went and found their old collection and photographed them?
I think these are from the old annals of history, the old collections. I think these are the ones that have been sitting somewhere in a room gathering dust or something like that.
I see them and all I hear is Scotland.
Freedom. Yeah. In addition to the Slayers and stuff as well, really, really far back in the annals of history, we also have this returning set. So this is the Dragon Company that's going to be returning. This is from the mid 80s and is just another one of the particular sets that they're going to be bringing back to sort of build up the collection of dwarves for you to use in the old world and create interesting and diverse armies. They really, really have plumbed the depths of the archives for all sorts of bits and pieces here to try and give people that old Hammer feel. This one's going to be available as a made-to-order set rather than it being a sort of a set that's on general release effectively. But if you're somebody who wants that classic Dragon Company, you want to bring it to the tabletop, make sure to go and pick it up. Looks very, very nice indeed. As well as those, we also have the new battalion box. So this gives you a showcase of the returning plastic miniatures that are going to be coming back. If you played 6th through to 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battles, these are the original dwarves that you had back then. Obviously, they'll come in their slightly bigger bases, but it's all the original kits. So you've got a whole host of dwarven warriors there, 32 in total. You can arm them with great weapons, or you can have them with hand weapons and shields, depending on your want. You also then get 32 dwarven crawlers / thunderers as well. So they'll be allowed.
Is this the set? Or is this something new?
These are some of the original
new?
plastic sets that are.
I'll go back to that picture then.
I was having a little bit of a time warp feel looking at this, going, where's the leader? Where is your general?
Well, yes, you'll have to buy that separately, unfortunately, when it comes to these sets. They don't
Back
include
to
any
time warp.
but yeah, you also get 2 gyrocopters in there that can also be used as gyro bombers, which is quite nice. As you can see there on the flanks of that army. And then this will come out alongside the Arcane Journal, as you can see there. You do not need this to play your Dwarven Holds, Mountain Holds army. You can just use the Forces of Fantasy book, which I have behind me on the shelf. There we go.
I am noticing one thing. They're spelling it Dwarfen now.
Well, because dwarf in Warhammer is always spelt with an F, whereas it should actually be spelt with a V if you're a Tolkienite. But there you go. Done it for copyright reasons, probably.
More than likely,
but yes, you can also get yourself the Arcane Journal, which comes with a few additional rules here and there. Comes with like period-specific stuff for armies of infamy for that particular time period. You'll also find special rules for particular characters, like Ungrim Iron Fist in there. Alongside all sorts of other bits and pieces of lore and everything else as well. This sort of gives us a look at some of the other stuff that's coming up as well. So there's loads of different bits and pieces for you to dive in and have a look at. Effectively, if you remember Dwarven models of old, they are going to be bringing it back. And they've done the same thing for the Orcs and Goblins, for the Bretonnians, and obviously the Tomb Kings as well. Although, as a dwarf fan, this is the one that is making me most happy. They're even bringing back, as you can see there, the Goblin Hewer that came out during the Storms of Chaos back in the day. There's even the Bugman's Cart as well. Oh, it's glorious. Absolutely fantastic. I could see myself spending probably a good month's worth of paycheck on this. To supplement my already exhaustive 5,000 point Dwarven army, but of course I need the new ones as well, because that's the way that it rolls.
You mean the new old ones? Or the new old ones?
Yes. The new old ones and the new ones. I definitely
will
want
they have a different new old miniature smell?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. It won't come in those little old boxes you had to rip off the cardboard. So yeah, that's true. Yeah, very true.
So to bring these back, did they have the molds, or did they have to go and recast the molds?
I think they probably had the molds sitting around. Although, of course, this Games Workshop, so I imagine they probably had loads and loads of them just lying around in bare metal that they've probably just gone back and re sort of tweaked and stuff potentially as well. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out for the dwarves. Loads of the old plastic kits as well. We saw a little bit of the Rune Smiths and the Rune Lords and the Hammerers and the Iron Breakers and everything else. So if you played 8th edition and stuff like that, all of those dwarves are going to be coming back, which is very, very nice indeed.
Sweet.
Yes. Dwarves by the bucketful. Next up, we're going to be moving from the old world to the mortal realms, because we got the full actual proper announcement that the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar is actually going to be coming later this year in the summer, and it's going to be featuring the Stormcast Eternals and the Skaven Bobs. That's their official name. So we got ourselves a fancy new cinematic trailer, which is very, very cool indeed. Which starts off tracking the life of a Stormcast Eternal from their mortal days when they get killed by a follower of chaos, all the way through to their many, many reforgings, through the Soul Wars, into the battle for Gur, and then eventually against the forces of the Skaven as well. The whole idea in the run-up to this was that Sigmar had lied. It wasn't quite as big as everyone was very much hoping it would be. It's the same lie that he's always been telling, and that's the Stormcast eventually degrade over time as their souls get picked apart via the reforging process. So yeah, not a massive reveal in the end anyway. It was a little white lie, really. So
I mean, honestly, I was hoping to see a almost chaos version or a destruction version of the Stormcast.
that would be
They've
cool.
completely lost their soul to it, and they're just mindless killing machines.
Be'lakor has done it before with one of his chosen, so you never know. Maybe it's something we will see. This did give us a couple of hints. Oh, sorry, Lloyd.
It's pretty cool though, the trailer.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
The animation and stuff's in it. It's great.
Yeah. It's definitely at the same level as the stuff that we'd seen for 40k and stuff, which was really nice, especially going from 9th into 10th edition as well. And obviously we saw something really cool for Horus Heresy too. The trailer did give us a couple of hints as to what's coming. So throughout there, we saw some remodeled Stormcast Eternals, Liberators and Prosecutors and all that kind of thing. So the vibe is generally that a lot of the original releases that came out for Age of Sigmar when it first launched are going to be revamped and updated. So effectively get sort of like a Primaris, really, of the old Liberators and things like that, which will be interesting to see. Obviously, new heroes and everything in there as well. We also saw a couple of snippets of interesting new Skaven stuff. So we've got an upgrade to the Rattling Gun, which now rolls around on wheels and runs over its crew, as is the Skaven way. Alongside a Rat Ogre who basically melted an Annihilator, which I thought was really cool. And then we also got that Skaven Warlord who was riding into battle. Their mount got killed and in classic Skaven fashion just ran off. I was going to say something else there, but I avoided it. You're welcome, John. And died back into the city. Talking of that city, the big sort of premise for this and the kind of lore that they're going into with the new edition is that the Skaven have now, and well, the Great Horned Rat has now become one properly of the Chaos Pantheon, and Blight City, which you saw bursting out of the ground in the back of that trailer, is now in the Mortal Realms itself. And so that's going to be the big new bad that the Stormcast Eternals are going to have to deal with throughout the process of the new edition. We did also get a little bit of a hint as to some new stuff when it comes to mechanics and gameplay and all that kind of thing. So the game is going to be redone from the sort of the ground up, a little bit like the transition from 9th to 10th. A lot of familiar concepts, but that does mean that we're going to be seeing a new index edition of the game. So all of the previous books will be effectively invalid and everything will start from the same footing. That means that all of your rules are going to be entirely free when the game initially launches, and then codexes, battle tomes in this case, are going to be available later on. And also, if you scroll back up again, just a little bit there, Lloyd, you'll see Spearhead. That's going to be the replacement for Combat Patrol. That's going to be coming to Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So you'll be able to get effectively a fighting force straight out of the box that is meant to be balanced against everything else. Lots of interesting things on that front, which I thought was quite nice. But we're just before we move into the new edition, we are also going to be seeing some stuff for the end of this edition. And as you go back to that story, we saw that particular awesome new Chaos character. So this is Abraxia, Spear of the Everchosen. She is going to be heralding the newest of the Dawnbringers books, the final Dawnbringer book, on the back of her rather awesome looking monstrous mount, as you can see there. She is one of the Everchosen's chosen. As part of the Varangard, and she comes with a spear that will mutate anyone that it touches, including the wielder, and that's why she has those mighty horns on the top of her head, because she has nicked herself maybe once too often. Everybody does that when they're doing the hobby, playing around with your hobby knives, you cut yourself, etc., grow horns, tentacles. I mean, that's just me anyway, but there we go.
Horns, tentacles.
Really nice new miniature for that set. That's going to come alongside a new Regiment of Renown box as well. So if you want to get your hands on her, she'll be available very, very soon to help supplement your Chaos forces on the tabletop. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the new edition. If it's anything like the transition from 9th to 10th, hopefully it's a good one. I've very much enjoyed playing 10th edition Warhammer 40,000, so maybe I'll enjoy playing 4th edition Age of Sigmar. I have started playing 3rd edition Age of Sigmar at the moment, and it's been kind of cool, so I don't necessarily want them to change it, but we'll see how it goes when we dive into playing the game later this year, hopefully. No Games Day this year, no Warhammer Fest. So
no Games Day?
Playing it. No, it'll just be people playing it on their Todd at home.
What did they replace it with? Nothing.
Nothing.
That's not very exciting.
They're not doing any events now, I don't think.
Yeah, Workshop have pulled out of all events this year.
Not going to UK Games Expo or anything.
Nope.
Shame.
Nope, won't be at Salute.
But I can see them not going to other people's events, but not doing anything themselves.
Yeah.
I think Q Fest last year got a bit of a bad reputation and
Yes.
kind of knocked their enthusiasm for it a bit.
Well, I was there and I still have PTSD from it. So, yeah. So I stood in that queue for 30 minutes and then just basically wasted most of my day after that. But there we go. Oh, well. Moving on from that, we have a couple of additional bits and pieces for the Mortal Realms, looking at some of their smaller games. We start off with a new Warhammer Underworlds set called Wintermaw. This sees 2 new teams going up against each other in the board game / card game mix, as it were. You've got 2 awesome new warbands. The first of these is and these guys are pretty hilarious. So this is the Brethren of the Bolt. You can see them in the bottom of the image there on the right. These are warriors of the cult Umberogan, which is a cult of Sigmar, that worship him in his divine lightning form. And they have quite literally been touched by lightning. So whether that's quite literally because Sigmar has shot them with a bolt of lightning, or they've tried to electrify themselves.
Running into the storm with a sword up.
Exactly, pretty much. These guys are proper weird flagellants. They are led by that dude in the bottom left is Pater Filius, who's the guy on top, who sits on top of the burned body of his son, who was charred by lightning. This is proper grimdark.
What? Wait a minute. So this isn't his head. That's his son.
That's his son underneath. And then the guy riding around in his shoulders is his father.
So it's a little bit Master Blaster.
Yes, a little bit, yes. And obviously they're backed up by all their fellow Brethren of the Bolt, you can see there, who are just so weird.
This is the definition of stick a fork in the outlet to see God.
Exactly, yes.
There's always that one kid.
Yes.
They've grouped them all together in this
one
case.
kid.
Yes. All of them come together.
They've made their own society now.
Yeah, and there's always one that looks like Justin. What's going on?
Let the beard grow out and away.
Not necessarily harsh. I resemble that remark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do.
They're going to be going up against the Skinnerkin, who are equally wild and wacky. They are from the Flesh Eater Courts. And as anyone who knows the Flesh Eater Courts will know, these guys don't think of themselves as ghouls. They think they are normal, awesome gentlemen and cooks and knights and everything else in between. In this case, these are gourmands who go around the mortal realms trying to find the choicest cuts, by which they mean the legs and arms and heads and all sorts of other interesting things of poor innocents. And then they use them to create fantastic meals for the Flesh Eater Courts. And so they found themselves in the Wintermaw looking for probably something that was on ice. I would also say that they've already got some sort of like flambéed fellows in the Brethren of the Bolt. They've already been lightly fried by lightning, so that probably gives them a sort of edge when it comes to their smell.
Surely they have to taste a little spicy.
Bit of a zing.
Yeah, very true.
They're the equivalent of Taco Bell.
Yes, the Taco Bell of the mortal realms.
I'm glad this guy has a nice big bush. So when he's flying off with you, you don't have a terrible view.
Yeah, you don't have to look up and
I was already depressed
You're
enough.
going to die, but no insult to the injury.
I was already depressed enough being kidnapped by this thing, but it's bigger than me as well.
Oh dear. Oh, images.
You're
Definitely.
welcome.
Moving away from Warhammer Underworlds, we also got some news for Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry. So this is the skirmish level game. If you were looking at it in terms of stages, you've got Warhammer Underworld, which is just a handful of models, Warcry, which takes it up to about a dozen, and then Age of Sigmar, which takes it that next level higher. This time around, we've got Briar and Bone, which is the new set for Warcry, still in the realm of Gur. And this sees the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, or going up against the Sylvaneth in this particular set. This warband that you see here is the Tetaric Cohort.
Terratic
Cohort. Well done, John. Thank you very much. Good corrections. And they have been sent by Nagash to reap all sorts of bones, as you might have imagined, and also collect all manner of different relics from Gur. They are going up against, as you can see here, the Sylvaneth of the Twist World. These are Sylvaneth who have been infected to some degree by some strange chaotic magic that has emerged in Gur, and now they are driven mad, constantly wanting to find their way back to the ever spring swathe and the healing magic of Alariel. So an interesting sort of matchup there between death and life, if a little bit putrid at the same time.
Two really nice looking sets
They
too.
are very
The
cool.
Ossiarchs look great with those little dog things and stuff.
Yeah, it's really nice, sort of inventive take on all sorts of bits and pieces that you can. I know you want to go back to St. Patrick's Day, Lloyd. Jesus. It's a really interesting take on the sort of things that you can sculpt for Age of Sigmar, because they've got so much free reign. And I think it's a really nice little pair of warbands that'll be fun for people to paint up. That, by the way, that big tree is the Ravening Gnarloak. So the actual living woods of Gur will eat passers-by, but this is a Gnarloak that has got sick of waiting and is now going around to try and hunt people down. It's looking for a next takeaway snack.
Why is there a platform on it?
Because you'll be walking through the forest, it'll be standing there, you'll be like, hey, we don't have to sleep on the ground, we can sleep up on that.
I'm a bridge, I swear.
Yeah, as long as you throw victims in before you, it'll be fine. I'm sure it will.
Yeah, basically it's an entrepreneur. It's a walking sleeping spot.
Live a symbiotic relationship with the Gnarloak, perhaps. But yes, those are going to be coming as part of the new Briar and Bone box set, which will come with new rules and everything else for you to dive into playing the game. So yeah, if you're interested in that kind of skirmish level of stuff in Age of Sigmar, make sure to check that out. We'll be back with more Games Workshop stuff in a little second, but we're going to take more. There is more. There is always more. It's like the hobby. It's never ending and constant. And we need to talk about it for the algorithm. But yes, we move away from Games Workshop for a little bit, just to sort of touch on a few extra bits and pieces that came out in the news this week. We start with something that's a little bit of an interesting collaboration between LEGO, and Wizards of the Coast. So they have created a new D&D LEGO set called the Red Dragon's Tale. And this, as you might imagine, is a big new LEGO set that will cost you the earth
money.
that looks like at least a left kidney.
Yeah, so just so you're aware, this is £315.
Why is Lego so expensive?
Yeah, it must be made of gold dust.
Because people will pay.
Yeah. But yes, this is a new Lego set that you'll be able
It's crazy. You've got to build it yourself.
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
It's crazy. We're in an industry where we have to build our own miniatures. How dare they?
Crazy.
But the set comes with the castle that you can see alongside a tavern. There's also a dungeon underneath for you to delve into as well, which I thought was quite nice. And a sort of little woodland area as well. You get monsters in the set. So you get a red dragon, the big beast that we saw looming over everything, alongside things like a displacer beast. There's an owl bear. There's a beholder as well in there too. You also get all of your D&D hero party. So if you want to run a full party through this, you can. Which I think is
I don't see Lloyd.
There's no Lloyd. Oh, well,
Lloyd.
You'll just have to pick one of these people.
I did see a gelatinous cube down the bottom.
There is a gelatinous cube at the bottom. Very inventive. Thought it was very nice. This came through the Legos Idea program, so this is something that someone has dreamt up and it's become a reality, which I think is a really nice little thing as well. As you might have imagined, there's lots of different locations there. That's because this also comes with an actual D&D adventure for you to play with your Lego pieces. So if you want to set this up and actually go through all sorts of different encounters, you can do that, which I think is really nice. I'm not entirely sure it's necessarily worth £350 to play a D&D adventure. But, people have paid more for bigger sets and all sorts of different things like that.
People who build those Lego cities in their basements, they'll love this.
Yes, they will very much.
They'll be all over that.
Oh, it'll make its money, guaranteed.
Whilst trying not to derail this, but also possibly derailing this, did you know that Lego have their own scale in rail? Their own tracks and things. So yeah,
that would blow it up.
Interesting thing. But yeah.
Yeah, but then it's Lego and trains. That's like two of his most expensive things together.
Yeah. It's just like I need to win the lottery right now.
Yeah.
No, Lego trains don't do it for me.
The scale's just off. But yes. Anyway, that set is going to be available in April. There's also going to be a live streamed D&D adventure.
Oh, we're still talking about it, Ben.
So, yeah,
what flipping heck?
I've got to sign off the piece. Jeez, I'm a professional. We also have some fun stuff for the Sorcerer Kings of Conquest, thanks to Parabellum. And these are so lovely. Big new monsters on the way. This is the Rakshasa Ravana. So this is one of the 2 options you can build with the kit, although as you can see, there are 3 heads in this. If you're looking to destroy your enemies with an absolutely monstrous piece of kit, then you've got this that you can throw into the Sorcerer Kings.
This is the problem with AI. It reads all these fantasy images and thinks things are supposed to have multiple arms and fingers. That's the problem.
Yes, it's our
damn
fault.
you, creative license. Damn you.
So this is the Ravenar, which has been designed to try and take out monsters on the tabletop. There's also this particular version of it you can make, which is the Bakasura, and this one has been designed for you to hunt down heroes on the table. I think both of these would probably be equally good at killing things. They are monstrous after all, but very cool, inventive kits, playing around with interesting ideas from mythology. And
do they fight with each other or against each other? These
They're
fight together.
Same faction, so they fight with each other.
Sorcerer Kings, yeah. Although you could pit them against yourself if you really wanted to. Rival Sorcerer King factions, I suppose.
Ooh, the air elemental's interesting.
Yeah. We also have a couple of additional
I love me some
well.
blue Will Smith genie looking things.
Yeah, these are your Djinn. Yeah. So these are a set that allows you to make either the Steelheart Djinn or the Windborn Djinn. The Steelheart, as you might have guessed by their weapons, are good at diving into close combat. So that's your sort of option there for taking people apart up close and personal. If you want to shoot your fellows from afar, your foes, your villains, then you also have the Windborn Djinn, who are armed with bows and arrows. So they are going to be able to take out enemies from afar with those, which is very nice.
These are really creepy.
Creepy? I think what's creepy about them?
Look at this. This creeps me out, especially this one here. This one just caught me in half. Oh my goodness.
Wow. That one's just coming to say hello and give you a nice little hug and tuck you into bed at night and give you some tea.
Yes.
And then eat you in your sleep.
Creepy.
Very cool though. And there's also sort of flowing into the idea of elements and things like that on the tabletop with the Sorcerer Kings. In addition to that, we also have the actual full original Sorcerer miniature now available. There was a limited edition version before this. This is the kind of standard one that's now you can now pick up for those people who want to build their armies based around the elements, both air and fire on the tabletop. But as well as that, there's also a couple of additional starter options for the Sorcerer Kings available to pre-order too. So there's a new First Blood warband for those people not familiar. The First Blood is their skirmish game. So this is their sort of lower model count game where you can still make use of all sorts of different characters and monsters and everything else from the game. Uses the same core mechanics and everything as well, which is quite nice. So if you want to dive in and use those, it's a good starting point, especially with these new Sorcerer King models, which I think look absolutely gorgeous. Really nice stuff in there. Another Djinn at the back. Does that one freak you out, Lloyd?
Yes, it does freak me out.
Okay, right.
Okay, so what we're saying is, like Djinn.
Yeah, Lloyd will not rub lamps. There we go.
Oh, Will Smith's gonna sneak out and slap me across my face.
Don't talk about my model. But yes, we also have the
Don't
supercharged.
rub my lamp.
Oh, again. We also have the supercharged starter set here, which is a good option for those people wanting to dive in and build an even bigger army on the tabletop for use in your games. Looking very cool. Lots of nice characters in there. Lots of good troops, both mortal and elemental, alongside some more of the Djinn to freak Lloyd out.
That's a really cool faction.
It really is. Very,
I'm just
very
waiting
nice
to see the commander come out and it's just Captain Planet.
That would, yes, combine all the elements together to make the mightiest heroes ever. Yeah, very good. But yeah, really nice stuff there for the Sorcerer Kings. Going off in a different direction when it comes to fantasy. Have some fun with that one.
Oh God, Captain Planet. Jesus. I'm visualizing that. I would hate that.
They're going to make it now. I should also note there is actually a convention exclusive miniature available for the Sorcerer Kings you can pick up, which is this little tiny mini Raja. And he comes with his own little game. There's no pictures of this at the moment in the running order, but make sure you go and check that out if you're still at Adepticon. You want to go to the booth and all that kind of fun.
Does he throw forks and knives?
I mean, he can do if you really want him to. There we go. Conquest. Boom. Awesome stuff. Now you know how to scare Lloyd on a dark night. Float around as a Djinn. There we go. Going back to Games Workshop, because of course we have to. We're going to talk about the sci-fi side of things. Pachow. Some stuff.
Don't steal tabletop minions thing.
I did. Yes, I've stolen.
Pachow. He's going to get annoyed at you. He'll make a video on you.
Yeah.
I sense incoming cease and desist.
Shall I point to the corner as well, like he does? Right, there we go. The video's up there.
Don't make fun of other content creators. It's a bad idea.
We love him anyway.
We do. I love Adam. But yes, Games Workshop, sci-fi stuff. New.
What are you talking about, Justin? I make fun of you all the time.
That's true.
Yes, but we're on the same team, so it's okay.
Are we though?
Uh-oh.
Blue on blue.
Anyway, what were you saying, Ben?
Yes. So new stuff for Chaos Space Marines is going to be coming out in the near future. They are going to be following on from the likes of the Orcs and stuff we've seen previewed recently as well. 2 new big model kits to lead the way for these. We have the new Chaos Lords, one of them on foot, as you can see there, as well as one with a jump pack. The character on foot comes with a whole bunch of different weapon options. You can choose between a chain axe, an accursed maul, or a demon hammer. Demon hammer's the way to go in my book, although that one looks quite dinky, which is a real shame. It's not about the size, I suppose. He can also be armed with a plasma pistol or a power fist. I quite like the idea of just making him full-on combat.
Yeah.
But all the way.
But you can't choose not to be foot on rock by the looks of it.
No, that is standard.
That's how you know he's in charge.
Yeah.
That's an alpha like pose.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like the Rock of Destiny.
Yes, yeah. It's like the Tory power stance.
Yeah, he has one minion who, as soon as he walks off, grabs the rock and just follows behind him.
Exactly.
Every time he stops, the minion runs around the front, drops it.
Oh, this makes perfect sense now.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe it. Perfect.
Building up this interesting lore behind the characters, it's fantastic. So you got that Chaos Lord on foot. There's also one with a jump pack as well. So if you want to dive into the fray, you've got some options there. This fellow comes with options for a power axe or fist. And then you can have a plasma pistol or a bolt pistol. And for fans of the Night Lords, yes, you can run lightning claws. Yes. You too can tickle your foe to death, by which I mean flinch their skin off. Very cool indeed.
As the Night Lords are wont to do.
As they are wont to do, yes. At least it's recycling, I suppose. Yeah. These Lords will first be available as part of 2 different sets, 2 little different battle forces will come out when the game launches, when the Codex launches. So there's Veterans of the Long War, which will include the Chaos Lord on foot, alongside a whole bunch of Legionnaires, Chosen, and Chaos Terminators, alongside 5 Possessed. And then the other of the battle forces is the Dread Talons, which will allow you to dive in with the Chaos Lord with the jump pack alongside cultists,
And
a demon
raptors.
prince, raptors, the dark commune, and the accursed cultists as well.
I like the second set better.
I think it looks cool as well. Lots more gribbly stuff.
It feels like you're getting better value out of it too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only gonna. I'm not disappointed in the models, not at all this time. Actually, I think the Chaos stuff's really cool. I think they've missed out on a little thing where it could have been the year of the Terminator revamp. Because the Chaos Terminators are now, along with the Grey Knights, the smallest Terminators in 40k, apart from the Space Wolves ones as well.
But that kit's been out for a long time now.
It really has, yeah.
But I mean, just if they were going to do anything, I think a blanket rescale of Terminator armor across all the factions this year would have been really cool.
It needs to be done because it looks stupid.
They do look silly. Comparatively,
They look weedy.
Yeah.
They look stupid because they're too small.
Like penguin Egyptians.
At least you can convert the standard ones, the new standard ones, into Chaos ones.
Yeah. You could just add bits on, I suppose, couldn't you? And you could have some fun in that sense.
And more skulls.
More skulls, more spikes. That's the way to go. Capping things off as well, there is also a new combat patrol that's going to be coming out alongside the Codex. So this will come with the Master of Possessions, not the Master of Puppets, as I always keep saying, alongside regular Legionnaires.
Master.
Exactly.
Where's the trains I've been after? Master.
I think that's what he actually listens to as he goes into battle.
You channeling Warren today?
I quite like this set.
It's a really nice little set. It looks very well balanced as well, which I think is quite nice. So
there's a good variety of stuff, some really interesting kits to work on, and actually, if you're getting into it, good simple stuff to paint, but also some more complicated stuff as you get more confident. Yeah,
very true. Yeah. I think it's a good one. It should be nice for people to dive into and have some fun with. I know a lot of people who just pick up endless combat patrols because they want to try everything. So maybe this will take people in a new direction and maybe build themselves a new army. But yes, nice stuff on that front for Chaos Space Marines.
There's more 40k coming.
There's more 40k. Yes, there's the last bit of 40k. Don't worry. And then we'll move on to something equally as fun, obviously. So this is the new Kill Team set that is going to be coming out as well. This was previewed this week. So this is a new set that will see the Votann, the Leagues of Votann, going up against the Genestealer cults. The first of the set is the Hernkin Jaeger. So these are the Hernkin pioneers that we will have seen as the Leagues of Votann before, without their bikes. Their ship in the storyline gets shot down over Beta Decima, and so they have had to get all of their kit out of the back and go out to try and deal with the damn Genestealer cults who have decided to make their life a living hell. There's loads of cool weapons in that set, including shotguns, pistols, plasma knives. There's a freaking pick for you to just beat someone to death with.
Where's a
crossbow?
Is there other pictures?
No, if you look down the bottom, look at that. He's got like a little hammer pick thing, a spade pick.
Oh, he has
here, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen. That's useless. Alongside all sorts of other bits and pieces to make your fun little collection there. I also like that there's a good mix between the actual sort of Votann themselves and also the Ironkin. So you've got the chap with the 3 little glowing eyes, little robot fellow, and then the chap with the sort of glowing head, or the little dome head as well.
Dude.
So you've got your little robots in there as well. Ribbits that are totally heretical, but there we go. They're in the mix for you to play around with. They're going to be going up against the Brood Brothers. So this is a set for the Genestealer cults. The idea is that they have sort of taken over Beta Decima.
Resculpts.
What? Sorry, what's that?
These are the new guardsmen done as Brood Brothers. Yeah.
Hey, Lloyd,
new guardsmen, but done with an upgrade kit to the side.
Yeah,
which is very, very nice.
Yeah, you see that the guy with the sniper rifle. Look at the guy's foot there. Have they photoshopped that in front of his face?
What guy with a sniper rifle?
On the left-hand side.
Oh yeah, it just looks weird. I don't think so. I think it's just. I think he's just there. It just looks
just
like
a
he's
weird
stepped on.
Yeah,
it's a weird position.
Yeah, sorry, that hooked my eye. I was like, what? No.
Let's not talk about the models. Let's talk about the marketing team that put the image together.
Well, I am enjoying the infected PDF troopers. They do look really cool.
Yeah, they're really nice. I think it's a really fun little kit that people are going to have a lot of fun with. I think the customization and the kit bashing for this is going to be like off the charts, and people are going to really enjoy diving into that one a bit more.
Heavily hinting at an upgrade set for the standard Cadian box.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
that would be so good.
Oh,
that would be so
very
good to see. They are also able, and as you can see there, to make use of things like the Broodlord and the Patriarch. They are meant to be some of the nastiest models in Kill Team to date. They get multiple activations and they are brutal, but you have to pay with basically sort of removing some of your troops to take one of these big boys in there instead. So yeah, it's going to be one of those interesting ones to see how they work on the tabletop. Not necessarily a fan of Kill Team myself, but I do understand that a lot of people really, really enjoy it. So maybe go and pick those up. Also, not going to be any big terrain in this set, but you will be able to get your hands on the plasma generatoriums, because of course they couldn't just call them plasma generators. Easiest thing to do with these, just shoot them. They do explode, apparently. They are hazardous terrain in the game. So make sure your enemy collects around them and then shoot them and blow them up. Perfect. That's how video games work. That's how tabletop games work. Fantastic. So yes, that's all of the Mortal Realms. That's all of the Grimdark Future. And also a couple of looks into some awesome stuff from fantasy from other creators as well. But we cap things off by heading to the world of Star Wars, because there were some additional releases from the folks at Atomic Mass Games that we need to talk about because they're freaking cool. We start off with the Clone Commandos. Do you remember an awesome first-person shooter called Republic Commando? If you do, put your hand up now. Wow, you guys suck. Oh no, Jesus. Right. So this was I hope people in the comments did this and put their hands up at home, and then people asked what they were doing. But there we go.
What's the other first person shooter that they had for Star Wars way back?
Dark Forces.
Like Dark Forces has just had a revamp.
It did, yeah. It's available on Steam, I think, isn't it? Stuff like that. Yeah. But anyway, yes, these Clone Commandos, they are based on the elites that you would have found in Republic Commando. You would also see them in things like Star Wars Battlefront. Let's not talk about that remake. Apparently, it's very bad. But yes, you'll be able to make yourself either a generic set of Clone Commandos for your games, or you could actually you've actually got rules in the set for making them as Delta Squad from Republic Commando. So you can have them as Boss, Scorch, Fixer, and Sev. So if you want to dive in and actually make that unit, you can do all the awesome painting on their armor to make them all feel individual and everything as well. Very, very nice. The only thing I will say about this set, and it's annoying because now I can't unsee it, is someone said, look at their tiny feet. And every time I look at them now, all I can see is tiny, tiny feet. And it's
you see
bugging me.
the lower armor, it looks kind of like a nappy.
Well, I can't unsee that now as well. There we go. Fantastic.
Tiny feet, tiny cod pieces, nappies.
We know what that means. Yeah. But yes, so the clone
I
commandos.
guess that's why they have tiny cod pieces, because they've got tiny feet.
Yeah, it's a balance thing. Alongside the clone commandos, there's also this set. If you remember,
I like these.
Solo movie, you'll remember the train heist. These are the range troopers that were fighting on the back of that, and we'll have seen coming up against Solo and the rest of his gang in that. So if you're looking to play out those scenarios, you've got some options there. These are your grizzled veterans on the frontiers of the Galactic Empire, looking very, very cool indeed. Come with all sorts of bits and pieces for you to make them into a kick-ass squad in your games. It's very scattergun, the approach that Atomic Mass Games seem to be taking when it comes to Star Wars Legion. They seem to just pick things at random and be like, yeah, we'll make them this time from this movie. There's no coherence. There's still no guns. I mean, pull one out for them as well.
I mean, they're probably just sitting there doing a roundtable going, I think those were cool. Do you want to make those? Yeah,
probably.
let's make those. Those were cool.
It's a bit weird that they still have magnetic boots. I mean, they're not on a train.
Well, yeah, that's right. Maybe I assume they can turn it off, I guess. And then just walk around.
Like, if you're going to walk around in the snow, there ain't going to be that many metal things you want to stick yourself to.
Have you seen how many droids there are? If you want to just drop kick one and stay on there.
I'm drunk. Take me home. Clunk, clunk. Go droid.
Star Wars version of Uber.
Yeah. But yes, there you go. Some awesome stuff there for the world of Star Wars. I already know that these sets are going to be in a lot of people's baskets come their release in
I do like these.
May. They are very, very nice. And it's good to see that Legion isn't dead. People are still making things for it, despite what Jerry says.
I thought it was dead. I believed Jerry and I didn't bother painting my dudes. Maybe I should paint them for the spring clean.
There you go. Perfect opportunity.
Jerry's just projecting energy for what he wants out into the world.
Yes. Yeah.
He's
manifesting.
He sat in his room breathlessly screaming Rome at Lloyd. That's why he's not here. He has screamed himself hoarse.
Yeah, that's true.
That crap just rolls off me now.
Yeah, we know.
Never mind.
Anybody says Rome to me,
no
I don't even acknowledge it.
Yeah. There we go. A whole bunch of different news there from Games Workshop and beyond, all from Adepticon. We're going to move on and we're going to close out the show. We'll be back in 1 second. All right, folks, we're back for some Kickstarters to round out the show. This one was fairly pretty much ordained to be in the show because Lloyd said last week, oh, yeah, we should probably talk about this next week. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, 3 days before it even launched.
Yeah.
So this is a Lloyd pick.
This is a Lloyd pick. So we've had a John pick earlier, and we're finishing off with a Lloyd pick. So it's all good. There'll be something for you somewhere, Justin. Maybe an XLBS. I don't know. Who knows? So this is from Footsore Miniatures and Games, who are on Kickstarter with what they suggest is possibly the best Vikings ever made. This is
The best.
The fantastic sculpting of Matthew Bickley, who has sat down and built a astonishingly good selection of different.
Well, these go really quick, don't they? I have to pause these
games. They're split across 3 different sets. You have Odin's Wrath, Thor's Hammer, and Loki's Tricksters, and each of these can be combined for you to make a Viking Great Army. However, if you prefer to go in and just pick and choose what you want, you also have the option to do that as part of this particular Kickstarter. The thing that is fantastic about this is that every single one of these miniatures is an individual doing a cool action pose, diving into combat, stabbing people with spears, chopping heads off with axes, and everything else in between. You have all of your standard Vikings you need, so all of your herdsmen and all of your Bondi as well, alongside berserkers and archers and raiders and leaders and everything else that you'd need. They've even done mounted figures for you to use in your games as well. So whichever way you're going to be approaching using these Vikings on the tabletop, you've got the option to do that as part of this campaign. A lot of people have been diving into Viking games, Dark Age games over the last couple of years. These are obviously going to be absolutely perfect for Saga. If you're playing,
for example,
for example. If you're playing Conquest, which is the Baron's War supplement set in the Dark Ages by Warhost, who are obviously very familiar to footsore, you've got those options there as well. That Berserker set is fantastic. I love that sort of younger fellow. Oh, he's so good.
This one? Or this
he's
one?
wicked.
I like this one here, mid-swing.
That's Jerry right there.
Yes, this. Yeah. Although the guy with the bear on his head could also probably be Jerry, I'd say.
But I like these because they don't have the usual bear skins on them.
Yes. I get what you mean, actually, yeah. So it's more of that kind of like stripped to the waist look for them. I mean, look at that for a set of dynamic
Where did it go?
warriors.
There it is.
It's just so good. You have
Vikings so good. Yes.
Are we looking at metal, STLs, resin?
All metal. Lovely, lovely metal. Num, num, num. In my tummy. Yes.
All right, NPCs, calm yourselves.
Yeah. So, as I say, all of these sets full of amazing individual miniatures. These are perfect for like skirmish level games in particular, although there's no reason you couldn't double up a lot of this stuff and use them as part of larger armies. I mean, £8 for 4 models, pretty freaking good, if you ask me. If you're playing something like Raven's Feast, for example, these would be really good for that game. Or if you're diving into Blood Raven as well, really nice set of models for that. All very small model count, where having characterful characters would be a great way for you to go. It's a really nice little selection of
What's
stuff.
this? Why did they tag the Anglo-Danes onto the end of this? What's that got to do with it?
Because they wanted to add more mounted figures into the collection, I think, as well. And so Anglo-Danes are kind of as close to Viking as you're going to get in the sort of earlier period anyway. So I suppose they put them in there for good measure, I would imagine.
Let's be honest, if the Vikings wanted horses, they probably had to steal them when they landed.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Not going to get those across on the boat, are you, very often? And they used to drive...
What are you talking about? The whole invasion the Normans did was all blipping horses on boats.
Yeah, but they were Norman boats,
not
Viking boats. They were meant for speed and attacks, not transporting entire armies to invade. I suppose they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I'm corrected. There we go. But anyway, yes, lots of amazing Vikings as part of this collection. As I said, they're split across.
Shall we look at the
sets.
Kickstarter page now?
Yes, we shall. Now you have gone through the porn of that video. So you've got the Valkyrie set there, which has been newly added, which gives you all your warrior women, which is quite nice. One of my favorites is the Halls of Valhalla set, which was included as free with stretch goals. So this contains loads of Vikings that you would use as part of your great army. So you've got Ragnar Lothbrok, Rollo, Ivar, Uber, Guthrum, Halfdan, Bjorn, all the big names that you'd expect from that period of time and before as well. And then you've got your different particular sets. So if you wanted to dive in and pick up just a collection of miniatures, they're split between the three, as I was mentioning earlier. As they went through the campaign, they unlocked all of these as they went through. You can mix and match as much as you like, though, with the add-on pledges, which I think is quite nice.
64 quid?
For all of it? That's so not bad.
Yeah, crap. Why did I browse this page? Oh.
It's not as if you don't have enough Vikings sitting
look at it this way. If you wait, RRP is going to be 90.
No. That's what I'm looking at going, why did I browse this page?
That's a good saving.
This is what happens with Kickstarters, man. You go through them and you're like, well...
If I wait, I'm going to have to pay more, so I'm better helping them out now.
I mean, even the mounted set for Loki Strictors, I think, looks really good. I love the mounted Shaman at the top. I think he's a really nice model.
Well, you're getting a really nice broad selection of stuff.
You are, yeah. And there's
all the Danes.
Yes, all the Danes. You can go all in for £185, Lloyd. And you can get every model from the collection, which I think is pretty cool.
What do you mean? Everything? Everything? Or is this just everything of one bit?
All the everything.
Does this have like
all the Danes means all the Danes?
But does it have the different heroes and stuff?
Yes, because they're stretch goals. So yes. That hero, you'll pick a hero and that will join your pledge for free if you pledge for one of the bundles above. So there you go. So when the stretch goal is reached...
But I'm only pledging for one bundle. Does that mean I only get one hero?
Well, here we go. So yes, we have summoned Viking heroes from Valhalla to help us unlock each bundle deal. They are individual stretch goals at different stages of our journey. When their stretch goal is reached, that hero will join your pledge for free. So all of them will join your pledge for free.
All the Danes means all the Danes.
And then you get all the Danes. Very nice indeed. There's even a fancy Viking shaman.
He's not unlocked yet.
Oh.
Well, you got to get to work.
Gone through. You might have already gone through. Oh no, not yet.
Showing he's locked.
Yeah. So check back at this throughout the rest of the weekend and see if it pops up. But
How much time do you have left?
You have 9 days left on this campaign from the time.
Oh, not long, folks. Not long.
So, yeah. Not long for Lloyd to break into his wallet.
I think it's more nicking at his purse.
Yeah. But yeah, some really lovely stuff in there. I think probably agree. Best Vikings ever made. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. If Carlsberg did Vikings,
that's very true. Well, no, they wouldn't be weak as piss, but yeah.
Got fired.
A good stout. But yes. Anyway, Matt Bickley's Vikings. Make sure you go and check that out.
Let's see. What is that funded level at the minute? 49,000.
Yes.
Okay.
5 times funded.
9 days left on that campaign for you to get involved. Cool. So, yes.
Let me just flash the screen so everyone can see it again.
Oh, yes.
Look, there you go.
Is this just so that you can make sure that you log in later so you leave it up on your screen?
No, it's just so I can make sure there's other backers going to unlock that last miniature.
Yes.
But Lloyd, you could be that backer. You could be that Viking hero for all the other backers.
Yes, but my wife says no.
Lloyd Stan.
But you will die in glory and go to Valhalla.
Yeah.
Because your missus will kill you if you buy it.
Shortly, wouldn't I?
We can play war games all the time then. There you go. But yes, Matt Bickley's Vikings. Go and check them out from Futsal Miniatures. 9 days left on that campaign.
But I wouldn't have any hands to move anything around.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Do you with your nose? Just
Oh, yeah, you just get a little grippy stick.
Goodness me, can we move on, can we?
You held it up.
Right. From making investments for the future in terms of Lloyd's, well, Lloyd can use these to hold up some shelves or something probably when he buys these.
Oh no, it's metal investment.
Yeah, we have some models in quotation marks that'll be gone probably as soon as you open the box.
I'm getting hungry.
This is weird.
This is why.
This is Gummyquest. Delicious fantasy gummies. So this comes from a fellow by the name of Jay, who had a fun idea to try and mix together two of their favorite things, which was dungeon delving and candy.
Whoever gets the killing blow gets to eat.
Exactly.
I just want to eat them. Can you actually eat them?
You can eat them. They are actual sweets. They are proper sweets. So
what happens if you eat them all, though? You just have no army anymore.
You have no collection. Yeah.
When you eat things, you generally don't have that thing anymore. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at it this way, Lloyd. It's technically permadeath.
Yes, yes, very true.
Won't they go off eventually?
Well, they're candies, so not necessarily. They're hard candies, aren't they?
No, it's a gummy. A gummy's supposed to be squidgy.
Yeah, but sugar doesn't go bad.
Yeah, you'll be all right. But the whole idea is that you're meant to eat them. But anyway,
you're meant to play with them and eat them, yeah.
But what if you're playing with your mate and he eats half your army on you?
Well, that's your fault for not killing all the monsters, isn't it?
Yeah, that's your tactical misstep.
So yes, this set was designed by Jay Welsh.
I don't know if I want to eat the purple worm.
Well, no, that would be suspect. But yes, so what they did, they actually went to industry sculptors to make these miniatures. So these suites have been designed by Alex Huntley of Warp Miniatures, who a lot of people will know, and Bobby Jackson, who does work for Wizards of the Coast and Reaper Miniatures. So these are legitimately sculpted miniatures that got turned into gummies.
I have to ask, what is the flavor of death?
Well, you can scroll up and you'll find out. Death.
No, it just says death.
Oh, it just actually
it does just say death.
Oh, yeah. But they have done a full set of heroes. There's a full set of 5. They've done a dragon, a purple worm, orcs, kobolds, goblins, owls, owlbears, a beholder, and everything else in between. There's even little tiny potions that you can get, which taste of strawberry or blueberry and all that kind of thing. So you can balance them based on the kind of potion that you're using at the table.
So hang on, whenever you're saying, okay, my character's going to take a health pot, you actually have to take a health pot gummy and go,
Go and grab a strawberry elixir.
You'll be playing there, and the guy's going, what the heck? Where did my potions? Did you eat my potions?
Exactly.
Yeah, but I replaced them with Coca-Cola bottles, so what are you complaining about?
Well, I have to ask, what do you get in your pledge? Because I would honestly hope that I would get more than one of everything in here.
Okay, so the treasure chest comes with 151 gummies, so you get what you see there. So you get 76 monsters spread amongst them all. So you get lots of goblins, lots of orcs, etc. You get 15 hero miniatures, 25 potions, and 35 dice. So if you are diving in and picking this up, you actually do get a chunk of stuff for you to be playing around with.
See, I think I would want to do like multiples of that, just so that I
So you
could
had some.
have some
Oh,
replayability
how much
to my
is it?
game.
Hey, birdie bird.
$31.
So £31. Well, £31 if you're going to be diving in and getting yourself a bunch of that. I'd say that's not too bad for a big bunch of bespoke candy.
Yeah. What's their top pledge? If you want to go absolutely buku crazy, what's the big pledge?
I think it's the VIP special, or is there one higher than that? Oh no, you can take it all the way to the higher levels. There's also a creator kit, I think, where you can help make stuff, which is quite nice. Yes, you create your own custom colors and flavors for the range. I think it's quite cool. That's $165. So
Honestly, not insane. That's achievable.
Yeah. And as we were saying earlier,
flavors, Marmite.
Marmite. Is that so no one eats your stuff? Oh, licorice.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, licorice.
Oh, I don't know. You see if you did like a cream and raspberry, like a drumstick.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh, that'd be good.
But yeah, so as we said earlier, the whole point of this is that you get these, you set up a fun adventure, and as you defeat each of the monsters, you get to eat the candy, which I think is fantastic.
But that means if you don't like a flavor, you're not going to want to fight that monster. You're always going to run away from it.
Well, that's just the one.
Look at you metagaming a sweet.
That's not exactly metagaming.
I'm not going to attack this turn, but you'll get the killing blow. Yeah, but I don't want to eat it though.
Yeah, I don't like that taste.
That'd
like
be
carrot.
funny.
Yeah.
But if you could go into detail, like you could have hit points on your monsters, and you could be like, "It's lost its leg."
Yeah.
It's lost
Imagine
its
the dragon. You eat, bite the wing off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that, and at the end of it, whenever you're divvying everything up, you're looting. So you're literally just taking a knife and carving up the big dragon, so everybody gets a bit.
Exactly.
I'll have his wings. You can have his head.
Yeah.
I'm glad Warren's not here because he'd be talking about putting that purple worm down your throat, Justin.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, John. Love you, buddy.
That's going to be the next eating challenge.
Well, Warren has mentioned that he does want to bring that back for another run.
But yeah. So yeah, Gummyquest, 27 days left from the time you're watching this. Just a weird, wacky idea. Amazingly well funded, as you can see.
I can use this though. I can use this to my advantage. When my missus goes, "You spent 100 and what on what?" And I said, "I could have spent 100 in this," and they just get.
I technically bought our weekly shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else?
Yeah,
you could
I didn't buy something that was one-time use.
You could tie this in with the cheese dice that you can get as well.
Yeah. There's also the gummy dice and meeples.
Or you can back the gummy one, and that when you hear but you could have bought food with that, you go, "I did."
This is my snacks.
Yeah. But yeah, fantastic stuff there. You can see across both of those Kickstarters. Get yourself a huge amount of metal and dive in with Matt Bickley's Vikings, or maybe go off on a Gummyquest and eat your way through your next adventure.
Diabetes.
And get diabetes. That's the treasure. That's the treasure at the end of
diabetes.
Yeah. I think we're going to leave it there. Make sure, folks, to come and join us on Sunday as part of the Cult of Games XLBS. We're going to be diving in and having a chat about all sorts of things, hobby, including some new paints that arrived. Lovely jubbly. You can come and watch us with a free trial, or if you're a subscriber, you can come and get that as well. That's 30 days for that free trial if you want to dive in and join us over there. However, if you want to wait until next week, we'll be back with another show, I'm sure, and a Cult of Games XLBS then as well. And of course, make sure to get involved with the Spring Clean Hobby Challenge. Get your project started early. It'll give you some guidelines as to where to go, and then we can dive in and we can show them off over the course of the next few months as well.
And this week's prize as well.
Yes. Don't forget, comment down below on YouTube this week. We did on Tabletop last week, so it'll be YouTube this week. And you can get yourself that Daughters of Cain, Krethusa's Cronehost, and the Dawnbreakers book to go alongside it. Perfect for the end of this edition and the start of a new one, which is always good to see. And of course, if you entered into any of the competitions over the last little while, make sure to go and check out the prize claim form. Because if you go over there, you'll see if your name has popped up and Jerry has bestowed on you the gift of awesomeness, which is miniatures. But yes, thank you very much for joining me, folks. It was a blast. My God. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.